Hey, welcome to Strength for Today's Man. This is volume 40. Thank you guys for tuning in for this brief moment of daily devotion. Strength for Today's devotion. And I have a scripture that I grew up on. And before I get there, thank you guys for liking the podcast, sharing the podcast, subscribing to the podcast, and hitting that notification bell so you'll be notified when a new video is uploaded. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for following me. It means a great deal to me. And those of you that are listening on the audio side in the different countries that you're in, thank you guys so much for listening and sharing it with your friends and family. And I appreciate it so very much. Those of you that are watching by way of YouTube, I really appreciate you guys checking me out on the YouTube. I'm doing a lot, trying to accomplish a lot. So you're going to see a whole lot of different backgrounds while doing this particular daily devotion. You're going to see me like where I am now in my makeshift studio. You're going to see me in another area of the house, or you might even see me outside in the backyard. It's just different areas that I want to be depending on how I'm feeling and how I want to share with you. And you guys keep watching because you're going to see the progression of growth within the show and how things are going to change and things are going to get better as we go along. That's the fun part about growing, because you have so many new ideas and people look back like, wow, I remember when you first started and you had this, you didn't have that. And man, that was bad. And like, what do you mean that was bad? You know how it is. But you get a chance to grow with me. And that's why I appreciate you guys following, because you get a chance to grow with me. So let's get back to this. Today's scripture is coming from Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And this is a scripture that I grew up on from my mom, always telling us this. She would always say, son, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and do not lean to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Now, I've heard that my whole life, and you can see it's still ingrained within me to quote that, because it's very true. If we trust in the Lord with our whole heart and not lean to our own understanding, God is going to direct us in every area of our lives. And I know that we experience life differently, especially when we trust in the Lord with half our heart and we're leaning hard on our own understanding. We're not going to get too far leaning on our own understanding. This little finite mind cannot understand the ways of God, the things of God, the way God thinks. The biggest difference is our level of anxiety. When we get swept up in the conflict and confusion of the day, and we're going to get swept up in the conflict and the confusion of the day. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of conflict on our jobs, in our homes, in our church, in our community, in our neighborhood. Doesn't matter where you are, there's going to be conflict and confusion during the course of the day. And our paths may get crisscrossed and we lose our way. We acknowledge the Lord in some of our ways and work hard to pull ourselves out of the mess. Think about that. Peace and confidence are byproducts of trusting the Lord. When we get crisscrossed, when we lose our ways, we need to acknowledge the Lord in all of our ways, not some of our ways. All of our ways, we need to acknowledge God. And it's him that pulls us out of the mess that we've gotten ourselves in. We can't do it ourselves. We can't do it by ourselves. Yet we believe that we'll get there through our own efforts. I don't understand why we think we can get to where we need to be in God through our own efforts. And that's how we get messed up, is trying to do everything according to our own understanding and according to our own ways. And it doesn't work like that. Life gets the best of us when we continue down the path of self-reliance. But God's grace steps in when we take ourselves out of the equation. If we take ourselves out of the equation and allow God to be God, that is so key. We need to let God be God. We're always trying to step in for God. We're trying to help him fix the problem. We're trying to help him direct the issues. We have to let God do what God does, and that's be God. When we place our trust in the Lord, and when we acknowledge him in all of our ways, peace and confidence, they'll find their way into our hearts and into our minds. Did I even give you a title for this? Trust the process. Trust the process. Trust God. Trust God. And I'm going to close with this. Lord, give me opportunities to breathe deep today. May I breathe in your presence and exhale my control. I stand before you with open hands and an open heart. Take what is yours and leave peace in my soul. Trust the process, guys. This is Strength for Today's Man, Volume 40. I'm Malachi Mitchell. You guys go out there and make it a great day. And I'm going to definitely meet you right back here on the next podcast. You guys be blessed.